live.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
What's up, everybody? So today we got super special episode 4 live stream. We're doing the OceanDAO round 4 voting. We had a new we just had Innovation Atelier just dropped 280 Ocean just right now, just before this stream. And yeah, so we're just gonna be watching this thing go crazy.
And we have a special guest today, Tobias
Yes,
from Evotegra.
Hello, guys.
Maybe you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, maybe let's start with that. I'm Tobias Manthey. I'm the business manager of Evotegra GmbH. And actually, I think the special thing here is that Evotegra is not from the crypto business. We are non-cryptos, actually. And the way we found our way here into the crypto and data space is that we are actually a data producer, I'd say, data manufacturing. We are producing custom image data sets for AI. So our core focus was basically always to automate the processes to get custom AI solutions into production. And that's, I think, a big differentiator from the rest of the market. And as we can manufacture data, we are looking for ways how to distribute our data. And I think the data markets are a huge chance for us to have the DeFi concept applied on data markets without intermediaries, reach a whole a very broad customer base. I think also the pricing, because it's a huge problem actually in the data space, is how to price data. How do you do that? Yeah? And Robin, you know that because currently the all the data in the autonomous driving domain is it's all OTC trades basically, and companies buy insane prices for autonomous driving data.
Have you seen this firsthand, the OTC, or like I've seen some like I guess enterprise like marketplaces, which is like very different. I guess like they're priced in like dollars, but like there's very insanely amounts of like dollars, like 20,000 or whatever. But I don't know. Have you experienced like the OTC stuff firsthand, or?
Yeah, we're actually selling data. So we
I think,
last year there was a good amount of our revenue was coming from actually selling data. So what we are doing is actually we have a camera in the car, or cameras in the car. We have an AI embedded system running in the car, and we are actually collecting the data as you drive. And the system is actually connected with a 4G antenna and has a cloud connection. So while I'm driving, actually, this system is actively sending out data to our cloud server and collecting data, which is then pre-annotated. Later on, we have a post-processing of this data. And then we were lucky to sell a couple of these, but it's always like a casino. It's always casino style. I want to have X amount of dollars. I give you a Y amount, and nobody has really a feeling on how to price data.
You just you call these people, or I guess you call these different companies who want to buy this data, or is it how does it?
No, no,
Obviously.
actually, that's a huge problem because this is all going basically via direct contact. You have to, these people, they have to know who you are, and then you get into business. So it's very difficult actually to get into this business because you cannot reach out to the potential customers. You don't know where they are.
Yeah, so it's very like warm market. It's already like people that you like, companies you already know.
Exactly.
I mean, I also worked in the automotive industry before, and what we did was always we built up the cars. You know, like the car that you have for your company, you have one of those, or I don't know how many you have, Tobias. One car to collect the data.
Yeah. In the moment, one car.
Yeah. So I mean, I was working for a company where we built up these cars, also for special sensors. You know, for example, a company develops a new sensor that they want to have in a next version of a commercial car. So they develop the sensor, then they put it in this prototype, and then we put extra sensors on top of it to validate this sensor. You know, like both see the same situation, and there you always, you know, you have the big players. You always try to you have to get into these rounds where you're basically offering what you're doing, and the same is also true for then validating or like building some algorithms on top of all of the data that they have. You always have to go through these rounds where you have to propose what you can deliver them, how much this will cost them, you know. But all of these are kind of guesses, you know, like, because you actually can't really predict how much it will be, you know, in the end, because always the requirements change over time, and they want to have this, then the timeline changes, then this manufacturer can't hold the deadline, and so on and so forth. So this was always a huge trouble, and then you have to annotate everything and so on. So yeah.
I think that's the whole AI business is until today incredibly immature, to put it this way. It's all basically handmade manufacturing processes, very no standards at all. Handmade data manufacturing. Also, what I always state is that because humans have a different perception than AI. Yeah, and if we let humans label AI data, we are actually introducing a perception bias, a human perception bias into AI data, and this is in the end is like driving or having put a diesel in a normal fuel car. Yeah, so it's not really you can't really exploit the full potential of AI. And this is like everywhere, and the whole. So it's a very young industry with very immature processes, lack of standards.
That's interesting. So it's basically like how I guess companies were in the 90s, where just there's like no structure, or like I guess something like that.
I mean, the companies are structured like normal companies, so they can also be big companies.
Yeah.
In the company I was working for, in the end, we were bought by a large company, Fortune 500 company from the US. So the structure of the company is all professional, but the whole business, you know, like, I mean, I was working with salespeople who sell the algorithm solutions, or who should also get data contracts and so on. But the problem is that the salespeople, they have to understand machine learning, you know, they have to be really in depth. Otherwise, they're selling stuff or committing to things that then later the engineering team will tell them, okay, that's not really so easy so to do. And it's very complicated, you know. Salespeople, they just want to sell. So, I mean, I found myself in a lot of meetings with big names like Audi, VW, Mercedes, and so on, where we were discussing these things, you know, like what is necessary, what do we need, and what are the requirements that we have to get, otherwise we can't sell them anything. And yeah, so in the end, it's everybody's still learning. So I think that if you have solutions like, for example, Ocean Protocol as an underlying protocol which offers many parties to offer their data that they already have, this makes the market much bigger, and immediately you have a much better impression also what your data is worth by having the market determine this price. Something like this does not exist yet, in my opinion. There's no real market for all the data that is produced, and I know the projects are spending millions. I mean, millions of dollars. So, I mean, I was offered 1 million kilometers of recorded automotive data for Data Union app. And I mean, they said, yeah, please take it. It costs us millions a year to just host it. If you do that for us, we are happy. If we even get more money out of it, we are happy. But it's 56 petabytes of data, so too much. I can't commit to that. It's maybe a fraction of that would be okay, but yeah, this is just the whole market is still developing. So yeah.
Actually, we started collecting data also for Canadian, let's say, startup, and these cameras are high-resolution cameras, and this is also the same thing as Robin did. So they are basically equipping cars with next-generation sensors, and then we collect data, and these. One image is about 10 megabytes, and we are recording with 20 images per second. So that's 200 megabytes per second. That's a couple terabytes per hour. And at that point, you actually find out that the limiting factors is actually moving that data.
Yeah. We were always sending hard drives through the world, like big hard drives, terabytes of just packages with hard drives of encrypted data that flies from country A to country B because you can't pump it anymore over the internet. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible, and just copying the data from one SSD to another takes hours. Yeah. It takes hours or maybe even days to just copy the data.
Yeah, I mean, we had since our last podcast, we have a new player that entered the ocean ecosystem called DeltaDAO. I mean, Tobias and I are also involved with them. So
DeltaDAO.
Shameless plug, but
well, let's talk about I guess first some of the OceanDAO. I guess
the point I wanted to make is that this company is concerned with computer data, so that's why here we're talking about copying data, and computer data basically is the solution. So I mean, Tobias and I, we have first-hand experience that it's not possible anymore to move the data. It's just any project that claims that they can move the data to the algorithm, it's just not correct in my opinion anymore. It's just impossible.
Yeah, and then the point here is that the amount of data will not get less. The sensors will have higher resolutions. The images have higher depth, so they can distinct more colors, basically. So the amount of data actually is constantly growing. And it's growing far faster than the infrastructure actually grows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those coming just onto the stream right now, we're live voting, watching the live votes happening on the OceanDAO round, and I think we have about 40 minutes left, and I think right after innovation came in. 2 more votes have happened. I don't know who they voted for though. I think it's probably some small players. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, a lot of wallets that have voted last round are not active yet. So, I mean, in the last round, this new project was introduced called the Ocean Dashboard. So they are currently on position 5 in the current voting. But they actually want to build a dashboard where you can see where all the ocean tokens reside, And if it would be possible, that would be a great feature, if they could show, okay, this wallet voted for this proposal in this round. I would love that, Then I'm a nerd in this direction, I'm very interested in who was supporting what, and yeah.
So since we have only like 14 submissions, I guess does it go back to like there's only a few amount, or
top 12 will make it.
top 12? Okay.
Yeah. So only 2 will not make it. So, and
Oh,
I mean
wow.
the one with
So everybody's gonna make it?
no, I mean the last
Or
two,
well, not everybody. The
last
yeah.
two. I mean, but one of the last ones has like I think 1,000 votes right now, and the last one has 600, and then 1,000. So, yeah, I mean, we did not know about the number of proposals right before.
So yeah.
And maybe let's take a look at the proposals.
Yeah, we can go a little bit through that. Yeah.
It's so amazing that actually the proposal, my proposal with Kai.
Which one is yours? Green light?
Green light, yes.
Green light, yeah. And actually, it's a variation of the proposal we had actually already in the last round. And it didn't make it at all in the last round. So it wasn't accepted in the last round. And because actually what we are trying to solve here with this proposal is actually to start the communication with regulators to check what are the legal requirements for enterprises and organizations to run data markets. And the interesting part here is that we have a joint European market that in the moment you basically get admission for one country within the EU, you get the admission for the whole EU. So solving the regulatory problems here in Germany is actually solving the problems for the whole EU. And this is the process we are trying to kick off here.
But I mean, one thing that I was wondering about this, I mean, I don't want to cause any trouble here or something. You said you want to propose this every round afterwards. So, or did I misunderstand this?
No. The problem here is that we don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Everyone who has ever got in touch with regulators, this can go off any direction and any. And it can be extremely simple to mind-blowingly complex, and it's absolutely impossible to predict what's the outcome here. And if we manage actually to get full compliance within this round, and that would be absolutely incredible. But I doubt it's getting so easy. And I'm pretty sure that at some point we have to develop some custom components or, for example, what's required within the EU are product sheets. And then you have to basically develop a reference product sheet for data tokens or something like that.
And you might also have to hire some lawyers or something. I mean, or
lawyers, advisors, people that are familiar with making these product sheets. And just for the kickoff, very hard to predict what's coming.
But will you keep some kind of track, like how this resources was spent? I mean, it's not necessary, you know. Like these are like things that it's just like for like we were talking about this in the last TechShip call, where now there's a project that builds a platform where you can track all the proposals. You know, it's called Ocean Pearl, and the idea was, okay, we don't actually know how all the projects spent their money. I mean, I'm going to do this for Data Union as well, to write down now where this token spent, you know, just to get more insights to the community. Because I mean, right now it's really a black box. You know, somebody wins the proposal here. Okay, you see that something comes out of it or not. You don't really actually know. I mean, you have to follow all of this yourself. So.
Yeah, actually, I haven't thought about that yet. I would love, because it's actually basically a little bit also in the sense of DeFi, this transparency that you know who got what and spent for what. So I'm very open here to ideas, because we haven't actually thought about it yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that can kind of be established for a little bit for the ecosystem itself, I mean, so far, people have gotten proposals around 1 or something. You don't hear about them anymore. Would be good to know which projects those are, that in the end, if they come again for funding, then okay, these guys were back then, they got something already. Okay, what actually came out of it? So that there's more of a, more of a thread, or more like, that you can follow up what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, for the AI ecosystem, we now established the within the German AI Association, the data economy group. And the point here is that we are doing that in an open format. So we are reaching out also to members outside of the AI Association community to join our data economy group. And just last week, we had the first regular meeting. These data economy groups are, by the way, every first Thursday of the month, 6 p.m. CET to 7. And what we are trying to solve here is to look into how to monetize data, actually, how to turn data into a tradable asset, how to price data. And I think the special thing here is that at some point we are doing it actually hands-on on the ocean market in the Rigby testnet.
Yeah, so I mean, I joined the session last time, so it was really very interesting. But I mean, the hands-on part already, I advertised it already today to Sarah. She wants to start a meetup for like from the Ocean Ambassador program, to make a meetup somewhere else on the planet. She's located in Australia, and she wants to start something. Then she said she wants to have something practical. I said, join next month. I mean, Tobias and Kai, they will create a session. Maybe she can later also copy the slides or something, or use them. Like if something like this is created, it's a hands-on session. People will really understand more how all of this works if they do it. And I really like your initiative here, that you're basically preparing this. Best thing, of course, would be if it's open and other people can benefit.
Yeah,
from what you already did. So yeah,
I think
was it?
I think, Jim, your internet is cutting out. Yeah, it was on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, Ocean Protocol also advertised it, but not about Boson Protocol. But
yeah,
we're still live. I mean, so I don't know what happened with Jim.
I think that because how many people we had in there? It was like 9 people in the data economy group. I think that's not enough to justify more meetups. At that point, I think until we have like 50 or 100 people in a call, I would try to focus the resources here.
No, Oh, I'm not sure if he's gone or that it's still streaming. Maybe it goes over a server. I don't know. Probably it's a server.
Yeah.
So Jim is gone. Let's see when he will come back. So no, but the idea would be that, for example, you make a presentation there, you prepare it, and probably this hands-on session with the Delta DAO marketplace might be Delta DAO. Will be then good. And then Sarah said, okay, she would like to take this material and then make another session for other people.
Yeah, or like that.
It would scale very well. I mean, you do it. She listens in, she understands it, she uses it for herself. Okay, and then if we could build up an archive of all the sessions, and many people around the world can make meetups, without all the preparation work that they have to basically put in to come up with the content. If the content is already provided, then you can choose, okay, today we have this and this audience. I mean, you could even have the people in the meetup vote what they want to talk about today. So and if it's a big meetup, maybe you also want to join and then present something, and people could then also come who are the authors. And I mean, there's lots of possibilities, but just like from the point of scaling, if somebody like you guys are putting in all the time, then it would be great if someone else could also benefit. Yeah, this is the session, actually. Welcome back, Jim. So this is the session.
Oh, no. That was a short visit.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I can share my screen. I can try, but then I need to make my new browser, I guess. Okay. No, okay, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about the other proposals. I think data union.
Let's talk about our joint proposal. I mean, in a way, the swipe AI. So we can jump in here because I don't need any screen for that. So I think that's a project that we launched together, Evotegra and Data Union app. And the idea is to have, for us, for Data Union app, it's very good to start the first mobile app. So we also have our normal proposal in this direction because I want to extend it, not to just have the swipe AI, but also functionalities. And the idea is here that you have a wallet in this app, and you get then shown images, and the images are actually provided by Evotegra.
Yeah, actually, like I said in my introduction, we are focused on automating custom data generation based on images, basically for AI. Yeah, and that way we basically can scale much better than humans. I think our processes scale like 100 to 1,000 times compared to a completely human-based approach. Still, humans have to oversee the results of AI. And I think what's interesting here is that this is actually the project we are trying to set up here is basically the first AI-human mass collaboration. AI is doing the groundwork. So AI is actually making the first guess, because the advantage of AI is, of course, it's very objective, very fast. And so AI is basically making the initial proposals for the challenge we are trying to solve here, and then humans basically validate the AI.
And the way, so Jim, we jump now to the swipe AI proposal.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I think I think Streamlabs or StreamYard is so powerful. My Mozilla keeps crashing.
That's crazy. I mean, it's good that it's hosted online. If you would be hosting this on your machine, then it probably would be offline already. So
yeah,
that's a big advantage. I mean, but the idea of this swipe AI, basically how it will look like for the user later, it will be like in the top, there's like like your mobile phone. In the top, you have like okay, what is the AI claiming? What they found what it found in the image? Like what is the class? So it could be like in a traffic situation. It could be, for example, a traffic signs or like a traffic light, something like this. And then in the bottom, you see the part of the image where it actually found it with a bounding box. So then you're comparing, is this really true? And then you swipe right if you think, okay, that is a match. If you swipe left, if you think it isn't a match. And that's basically the collaboration here. So, and in the backend, the benefit of all of this is that Data Union app is giving out quick write tokens. So like from our data set. So you're actually contributing also to the data set. And yeah, so you just have to swipe left or right. It's like a small game, basically, and you're helping to validate the AI output, and then we can use this to also compare this to professional results. Like that professional gave professional ground truth, and then we see, okay, how well does the crowdsourcing approach work. And this is basically, if this works with one of the algorithms, we can do this also with many other ones. And yeah, so then this is a really, really important step, I think, to validate and see whether this can work or not.
Looks like we had 3 more votes.
Oh God!
Coming in, yeah. Just now, 3 more votes. I don't know how big they are.
Yeah, I have to also keep this open on a tab so that I can.
Yeah. So you were discussing like swipe. Were you guys discussing post-human? That was.
No, we will not get.
Oh, okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But that seems interesting.
No, I mean, if we would follow the order, the next one would be Ort Digital. I mean,
Okay.
they have like a lot of votes.
Swipe or okay,
Yeah,
yes.
Data Union app. I think many people know about Data Union app. I mean, one
Yeah.
thing to say, our alpha is basically
Or
this close to going live. So I mean, we already have the website online, but some small things I have to make a better tutorial and explain things a bit better, and then we will be live this week.
Maybe Jim, or you're the NFT expert of this round, I guess.
Well, I don't know much about Ort, to be honest. I see it a lot, but my NFTs are just art communities like on OpenSea. I mean, I'm only in like 2, which is like Dogepunks and the Pixel Apes, but those are just like small like art type like communities in these like Discord channels, and I don't know. I haven't really like looked into like Ort Digital.
We have
Much.
to invite them. I think they really. At some point, we should invite them and have them also featured here in the podcast. I think.
Yeah,
I mean, I got so many people joined Data Union app Discord, and all have in common that they're in the Ort Discord as well. So what they're doing is like they do missions. So in the missions, you're promoting also the project, but you're also solving some tasks. And what you get for that are like heroes. So the NFTs that you can see here, these figures, they are heroes. And later you can put them to work in their system, and basically they will then earn you some rewards. So that's my understanding from that. But they also want to, they want to also trace all the NFTs over all the blockchains, and then you can also see them there. So I think that's that's what they say here. Ort Digital is a DeFi aggregator for NFTs. So basically, you can then have the NFTs work for you. You can say, okay, I have this NFT, but I'm not using it right now. So maybe somebody wants to borrow it to show it in a gallery or use it for some other activity. So I can borrow out my NFTs to get a revenue, or not just own them. So that's like. Yeah.
That's really, I don't know. I joined the Discord, and then because like I wanted to do the NFT drop or whatever, and then I was like, this has too much going on. There's like all these mission stuff, and I just feel so lost. And then I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there was just too much time that I had to put into where I was like, I probably had to like be like, oh hey, what's going on? Can someone walk me step by step through this? So I kind of just like was like, oh well, I'm not gonna get this free and NFT drop. I'm just it's just too much time.
I mean, for the one they did, they were also in the Ocean Spotlight. You only had to retweet and ask a question. So I managed to. But I think if you spend some time, I think it's a good thing. The missions are still online, so you can do them. So there's like 8 different missions. You get then different kind of NFTs for that as the reward. So yeah, I like the project. So
this would be cool if you could I guess transfer some of your World of Warcraft items onto your Ort hero.
Maybe this will be cool at some point. But what they're also doing is like they're making guilds. So like it's like, or I think either it's called guilds or tribes. And I think then Ocean Protocol will have their own guild or something like this. And then you can also put in Ocean tokens. And I mean, I think they have a lot of interesting ideas. But yeah, let's see how this turns out.
Let's go in a challenge here. Is NFTs, is this really about art, or is this more about collectibles?
I mean, it's about art and collectibles both at the same time. I mean, you get art. I mean, art is what it's now really active in art. In my opinion, we'll also have different types of NFTs over time. So I think also industrial designs or something like this, like producing something is also an NFT. If I make an architecture drawing to build a house, can also it's a digital DeFi. You can also sell this as an NFT. But at the moment, it's mostly about art and collecting the art. Yeah. And as Jim said, becoming also part of a community. Like if you own a certain NFT, you also in many NFT communities, you then get access to certain social media channels and so on. So it's also about community, a community that cares for this kind of NFTs, for this artworks, for example.
Yeah, I'm seeing. Well, I'm also seeing too that it's also access. People are using it for access too. Besides, so like the music industry is like really like hopping onto the NFT space, and then I've seen some like YouTube people, so like some like dating coaches or like just like gurus, or they're starting to put their like what's it called, their videos, some of their videos as an NFT. So if you buy the NFT, then you get access to that video, or like, you get to keep that video or something like that. So they're starting to put up more of their like content as like minting it as like an NFT. So I think more and more that I think we're starting to see like a lot of that like route to having like using the NFT as an actually like a access token.
I mean, that's direct marketing. You can sell directly to the retail customer. You don't have to go through anyone else. You don't need a label or something. You can go to a global platform. I mean, for me, this reminds me very much about Ocean Protocol. Marketplace, data, direct connection. For me, I also up last time with Trent. A data token. I mean, you can. Let's say I want to sell my new music album. I say, okay, you insert one data token here, you get access to the album. Okay, everybody can do it. It's just a data set on the marketplace. For me, it's the connection has not happened, there was a partnership right last week, I think they're called Wasteman or something.
Oh, I have it right here. Wise Art. Oh, it's right here. The wrap up. Yeah, the Wise Art.
Yeah, and they are making an NFT marketplace, and that's also going to be built on top of Ocean Protocol. So I think they realize the potential. I'm just intuitively seeing here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually the concept of art or marry the concept of art with the DeFi. It's these DeFi everything. It's kick out the middleman. Put on the market. I think the core ingredient here for this to work are actually the ideas and ownership. We have to agree who we are, who we are, and who's the owner of something.
I think where's I think Swipes in the.
Whoa!
What?
593,000 votes for Swipe AI.
Yeah.
We made it. We made it.
I think Swipe just is number one.
Somebody was watching maybe the stream and now.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you.
Wow, 97 votes right now.
Wow.
Oh, this big whale.
Whoa, not bad. Yeah.
So
awesome.
Sorry, Tobias.
Tobias.
No, I'm involved in both. Yeah. I don't care if I win or myself wins. Me, myself, and I. As long as I'm in the top 3, I'm happy.
Goal. Looks
awesome. Yeah, so I mean, the next one in the order would be then here Open Science by Shadi, right? And
Open Science, yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit too further up.
Here.
Yeah. And I think here they want to really bring in Ocean Protocol, or like the opportunity to bring in this kind of protocol into the neuroscience and open science world. So I think this was I think he has 2 proposals, right? And this one is I might be confusing things. Can you go a little bit down?
Open Science.
This should be this.
right here, the summary. Or
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, that's exactly, yeah. So I mean, the thing is that the people are participating in the experiments about neuroscience. You know, like okay, this can also of course be extended to other scientific experiments, but you then have the problem that later they might want to opt out, or you know, they don't actually know exactly what will be happening with that, and so I think that's the problem that they're tackling here. So
yeah,
let's go.
and then, yeah. Let's
Today I'm
move
not
on. We
as
got.
prepared as I should be.
I know.
all of them by heart, you know. That would be the.
Okay, so we have like 11 minutes left. So open science. Then we have ocean dashboard.
That's what we already talked about. I mean, they were also.
Oh, did you guys? Oh, yeah.
So they're working on tracking. I mean, what they have now in their mind is tracking all the exchanges to see what's going out every week, you know, so that you can see where all how all the big pools are developing. But I think it's also would be interesting for votes, you know, who voted for what, which wallet, or what are the big wallets doing, you know, like you see somebody here, 600,000 oceans, did something change, you know, what are the whales doing, where are they moving, where are they farming, you know, like at some point, which data sets are they staking on, you know, like this could also become a thing sooner rather than later, you know, when there will be more data sets. And yeah, that would be interesting. I think this platform has a huge potential.
Yeah, and I think many of the we haven't even imagined of what this can be used for.
Yeah, the dash.
We are getting inspired. Though, yeah, we see it's big, but actually, how big it is, I think it's beyond our imagination so far. What can be done and how the ecosystem can develop, what kind of businesses can grow out of this.
Yeah, I'm there's somebody a new guy entered the ecosystem who has been working on exactly these things, and we're talking about making a proposal of scoping the market, you know, like making market research. I think Ocean already did this last year. I had an interview with them because my company where I worked also sold data, but they also made a survey of the market who would be interested in buying and selling data. But I think that can be extended by the community, you know, then it can also scale well. So I think that would be interesting, you know, to really scope out, okay, which companies or which different fields, you know, which verticals can really benefit the most of Ocean Protocol, and then thinking about use cases, and then actually going and contacting the companies, you know. I mean, Ocean is not known so well, but if you really contact a company with a fundamental, you know, like well prepared strategy, how they could benefit, then I think you can also onboard more and more companies.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing a questionnaire within the German AI Association, because there we have like 300 members, and I think AI companies are predestined to buy and sell data, actually.
Yeah, I mean, those are the direct beneficiaries, but then you can say, okay, there's another level, you know, like, so these AI companies can now create something. Then what algorithms can they produce now, because they have better access to data? And then who would be the buyer of that, you know? So then you can even go in a more complex way. So like with Data Union app, for example, if we create an anonymization algorithm, then who would be the people that could buy this, you know? Who would be the customers and so on? So like we're going to pick some examples, and then we want to go a little bit in depth and explain them more.
Yeah.
Do most companies right now don't have like an AI arm, right? I think it's just like a data center that they have, or like a tech.
IT departments are very common. I mean, that's true, and web presences are very common.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that brings us maybe also to the next one on the list is DeltaDAO. So they just formed, and what basically they want to do as one of the goals is that companies can put data sets that they own on their balance sheet. So it's a little bit like I mean, for me, it resonates very well. I mean, Michael Saylor talks about bringing Bitcoin onto balance sheets of companies, you know, like as a new thing. And DeltaDAO talks about bringing the data sets that the company owns onto their balance sheet, so that they become assets, you know, that they're worth something.
And luckily we have 2 members of DeltaDAO with us today.
I mean,
Surprise.
the idea is just too good to refuse. I mean, for me, the idea is too good to refuse the invitation, to participate, because I mean, the idea is to really make bulletproof compute to data environments, that uphold all the privacy laws, and then also to make marketplaces and to help the companies onto these marketplaces and to bring the data into the Ocean ecosystem. And I mean, that's just perfect from my point of view.
Yeah, Jim, where are you located? You have a U.S. accent?
US, yeah.
Yeah, so because there's one thing different here in Europe, because we have a privacy law called GDPR, and this law actually is a modern law because it's made based on principles. So it doesn't tell you what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do, but it tells you principles you must follow. The problem is that these principles, it's always an evaluation of the risk versus the benefits. And this brings, of course, insecurity, and insecurity is drag. And until today,
What do you mean by insecurity?
The law doesn't tell you this is allowed or this is not allowed, but it says, okay, you have the potential impact on the affected people has to be lower than the potential value you're trying to get out of this. As an example, and this is something you cannot really grasp very hard, and you say, okay, this is allowed or this is not allowed. Yeah, it's always
in the gray.
Yeah, in the gray. And gray is not is like toxic for business, because gray means there's risk, and risk means I bet I shouldn't do it.
Yeah, here in the US, there's nothing. I mean, at least there's there is something, of that standard in like Europe. But I think in the state of California, they kind of do mimic a little bit of that, GDPR, where they do have like strict kind of like data laws. But it's not like there's still like you said, there's still some gray in that. I mean, just look at Facebook. Facebook just got leaked, right? By like 553 billion people have all their information now just sitting out on some hacker website. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess there's really, how can you really make like data laws? Or is there really like something,
I just Googled it. There are 12 countries around the world that actually have these laws. So, I mean, usually Germany or Europe has the strictest one. So we're just hoping that if this...
I think Sweden's one of them, right? Because, I mean, I try to set my VPN to like Germany because I know GDPR, or like Sweden because I know,
Yeah, I mean, it's in general Europe. Yeah, it's not like necessarily. I mean, this is a European law, but I think here's like Chile, New Zealand, India, South Africa, China, Canada, South Korea, Japan, California, Australia, and Brazil. They all have this kind of law.
Like strict.
Personal information has to be handled differently, than any other kind of information. So,
there's a huge potential actually in there, because these data privacy laws, this is like the amount of data. It will not get less. So data and privacy protection will spread. I think this is for sure. And then actually, this regulation initially is a drag. It prevents you from doing something. The insecurity is preventing the business from growing, but this goes only up to the point where you actually solve the challenge. And then all of a sudden, this can be an incredible boost to the industry, and also protects your market, because all of a sudden you have and the only GDPR compliant solution on the market, and this protects you from all the competition worldwide. Yeah, so and there's pros and cons related to regulation, and there's also big potential for actually solving these challenges, because then you're the first in the market that has solved the GDPR problem. That would be.
DataDAO just got another 100K votes or something.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, I haven't. Let's see how many
We have
minutes.
99 votes now. Already.
So we have like 1 minute and 52 seconds.
Now it's getting into the final phase. Yes.
Let's see how many. We have almost 100 votes. So 99.
How many we had last time? Also about 100.
Yeah, I think about so. Let's see. We had about. Oh wait, this is a test.
Yeah, the test was if the marketplace stuff works or not.
Round 3. Oh, we only had 96.
Okay, so more votes.
Oh, we have some more. Yeah, I think it's more active this round.
Yeah. I mean, what's also interesting about DataDAO is that it's only ambassadors and only German speaking at the moment.
and engineering, actually, it's also a completely engineering driven. And this is also something I like very much, because engineers are very to the spot. Let's get things done. Let's talk less, do more.
So how is it the consensus of Ocean?
This was a good advertisement by Alex, actually, in the Ocean town hall. Yes, he said, this is like consensus. So yeah.
Is consensus? So consensus, they basically did the same thing, I guess, right? For Ethereum, where they just so we had another one more person voted, but consensus, they did the same thing, right? They just onboarded like enterprises or just like companies and businesses to use like the Ethereum stack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, DataDAO is already onboarding one more company, Data Union app. I'm already to Frederick. I mean, like outsourcing computer data is always a good thing. Like, I mean, just focusing on what you can do best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so that's it for the votes. 5 a.m. It's
finished.
101.
Right. Okay, crazy.
So it's swipe. Oh, Data Union came in second.
Last minute.
And then last minute.
Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, but we did not finish all the projects, so maybe we should go a little bit further.
Yeah.
Like Rugpal Index. I think many people are. I'm not sure how many people are aware. I mean, it's a website which actually tracks the marketplace and gives you insights into which data sets are trustworthy. So they have a formula for that. But what they're actually also planning to do now is to make an index, like so that multiple data sets of the marketplace can be then combined. And here he has, if you go a little bit down, Tim presented that. So this is an excerpt from one of the OceanDAO town hall meetings, and there he shows basically how over time the value increased if you would have if you held these assets, and the idea is then to also make index funds. Like multiple data assets can then be combined, and yeah.
His website, I think it's rugpulindex.com.
Yes, exactly. That's the website. Yes. And so if you want to make sure that you know what data set from the marketplace you're investing in, then you can check out this website. It gives you some insights into how reliable something is.
So this one is the coin market cap of Ocean. The coin
more like no, it's not
really?
necessarily coin market cap, because coin market cap is there's another website. I think it's called oystershell.io. So they
is doing this
yet, but this is like more like a coin market cap. But this here is more like I don't know.
More like
how is it called? Is it Curve or something? There are already websites, right, that gives you the opportunity to make index funds out of different crypto assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the idea here. Index funds, different data sets. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so who's down on the list? Project Coral. Oh, that's the onboarding neuro one.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, Shadi has already started with making workshops, and they also want to make a hackathon, I think. And they have also now Google some of code students, PhDs that are now working for them. So this is their proposal to continue with that. I mean, right now it's starting to shape like this, that people are really quitting their day jobs to actually fully commit to the Ocean protocol ecosystem. So I think here also that Shadi is also doing that, and yeah, Frederick is doing it, and I'm also doing it. So yeah, it's.
Wait, you guys are on this, or
no, not on this. In general, I mean, Shadi. I don't think Shadi has another day job. You know, where he's. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
About that, but I mean, that's where the proposals are becoming like the lifeline of the people. You know, like. You need the cash to finance your project. So
let's see, Resilient.
Resilient ML. Yeah. So I had a meeting with them last week, actually. So for Data Union app.
Who runs this?
Those are like I talked to one professor from the UK, and I think they're already a larger team, and they're working on sentiment analysis, for example, of Twitter feeds. So what they are proposing here is that they are basically will create a data set which will have sentiment about different cryptocurrencies, but this can also then be extended to other topics, you know, for example, NFTs or different things.
I think this one they're doing Web 3.0, DeFi, and then the metaverse.
Sentiment, yeah, it's about sentiment analysis, you know, to predict how does the whole world feel about a certain topic, you know. Very valuable for investors, for example.
Currently think in the crypto space that's very hardly correlated to the Bitcoin price. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean they are very very versatile in scanning all of this, you know, getting all the data in and then interpreting it by like, you know, from the text data. So yeah. I think they already tried a few rounds ago and they didn't make it in, and now they made it, so that's great.
Have a look at this post-human thing.
Okay, yes.
I'm a bit scared about what to find in there. It's,
okay, and the logo even has like skull crossbones. Post-human.
Marketplace.
So for those watching right now, this is a post-human AI data set market, or I guess what did they want to do? They want to build an AR marketplace. So after humans are extinguished, we'll still have data sets, marketplaces trading. I think, right?
This is basically the kickoff for self-evolving AI. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Self-evolutionary AI to take over the.
In a way, with this ZK, you know, ZK snarks, federated learning. I mean, this would also solve GDPR issues because, yeah, I mean, in a way, you know, there's zero knowledge happening, so you don't have to really. So the data is not really becoming visible, you know.
Are they going to be using, I guess, computed data?
I think it's something like this, yes. But computer data with a special kind of algorithms, you know.
This is wild.
Yeah, it's wild, yes. I mean, they built their own marketplace, you know. So
the Ocean protocol, large NLP model. Okay. That's basically they're trying to give a voice to AI. and these really complex NLPs. So this is, what's NLP? It's neural
language processing. I mean, that's basically making the algorithm understand the world. Understanding text is basically already a large step forward to making it understand everything. So, I mean, vision and language processing. If you can combine both of them, like OpenAI did this recently with their new algorithm, where basically you can now enter a sentence and it will generate an image for you. You can say a bunny in the forest in spring. And then you can say a bunny in the forest in winter, and in winter it will have snow. In summer it will not have snow. In autumn the leaves will have different colors. So the AI model starts to understand the world much better, and can generate stuff out of that.
Yeah, OpenAI is definitely a leader in the AI industry.
Yeah, I mean that's why we added descriptions to our images in Data Union app. So maybe one day they say, "Oh, you have a good data set. We want to collaborate." That would be awesome.
But AI can't really I mean, how do you really get like the sentiment off like text, or like just like, I don't know, isn't there, I mean, there's also like emotion or like feeling behind some text,
That's
right?
true. I mean, at the moment, these algorithms are training basically on the training data, where you have a description and the image, and then it's starting to connect the words to, like, the words are called tokens. So it starts to connect over a large amount of data. It starts to connect these tokens to certain attributes of the image, and then it can reproduce them. It's the sentiment stuff. Maybe with resilient ML, we will have more sentiment stuff added. So yeah, I'm really interested how this will turn out in the future. I think I will have some more talks with them. And the last one is the paper research platform. So I mean, I think, what was his name? But he was on OceanDAO town hall last time.
Yeah,
so he was presenting this. But
from Africa,
yeah. But can you show it? His name? Yeah, this is his name.
Abel, I think it was.
Yeah. And he, I mean, basically the idea here is that they want to create a marketplace where people can share their research, to make it more accessible and also more shareable. Maybe that's the LZV killer in the future. Who knows?
So they're gonna use the marketplace, but the marketplace is just gonna be for just research paper and like documents, basically. I guess basically like a big data protocol, but instead of just having professional data sets, it's just all research paper documents.
I think they're focusing on using VideoWiki. So that was like also a project that was funded, I think, last round or something.
Yes.
It also was like highly placed in the hackathon this year, the Ocean. So there the option is that you can also then collaborate on something, that you can collaborate on writing these papers. So
you put up, yeah, so you put up you write your research paper or something, and you're working on something, and then you just put it up on this platform, and then on top of that, other people can join in and create or also add into your research.
And also here it was also about surveys and stuff, So like if you have to gather data, you can do this. And here, so.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's some parts of science where also surveys are a huge problem, where you have to access people. And if you could reward them with tokens for that, of course, that would also be great way to get them in.
I guess. Are we gonna share the Currents project?
Yeah, Michael also was on the OceanDAO town hall last time, but unfortunately, I mean, he tried. It's the second time. Unfortunately, he was not successful both times. He also wants to do sentiment data analysis using LLP. It's like similar to Resilient ML. But he wants to build this platform for himself. Yes.
So that's why
we will make it in a future round. yeah, he's a very motivated young guy, and yeah, I was hoping that he could make it in, but he didn't.
And the last and final share and sell.
Yeah, so these were the guys. I actually talked to them in Discord. So they want to basically create. You have data, and they create a GAN for you. So that's a generative adversarial neural network that basically can create new data, synthetic data, and they train it on your original data. And then in the future, you just can use this GAN to produce more data, but the original data is never shared. So then the personal information of the original data is not included anymore. So I think it's a good idea, and there are already established companies. For example, Gretel AI, they are also doing something like this. They have a big product in the US, so it's of course it's promising.
Yeah, it says here problem 2. However, compute to data still requires trust in the algorithm to ensure data does not get exposed.
I mean, that's the reason why we don't have computer data yet, because the team had to figure out how to do that. I mean, I think they figured out a way. So the algorithms will be part of the marketplace. So then trust can also be, like come from a signal. Yeah, that's always true. I mean, if the algorithm you let it run on your data, and it just copies some data and sends it out, you have to trust the algorithm. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
I mean, but that's also some kind of business. I think DAO is actually trying to grow. It's actually to act as a certifier. I mean, certifying contracts today is a common business. That you want to know that the contracts you're interacting with are safe, and the business that's growing here is. To have also certification for algorithms. And this is actually one of the core reasons we joined DeltaDAO. Here is we can bring in the expertise of the algorithm. Yeah.
So you guys will basically be AI auditors, right?
AI auditor, and actually somebody that's able to say, okay, the output of this AI algorithm is actually doing something or not. And we will be actively involved in the compute in the initial computer data development within DeltaDAO, because we basically bring algorithms, data, benchmarks. We bring all the tools actually needed to have a full test environment, test bed with real applications.
So I guess, well, the AI ecosystem is still like budding. I guess so different businesses will be formed among just all evolving around like AI.
Yeah. Today, I think AI is the AI business is pretty much in verticals. So we have an AI for autonomous driving. We have an AI for industrial applications. We have, but I think the core strength of AI later on is to be on the horizontal.
Wait, so you said it's on the vertical, where?
Basically AI solutions. The AI business it's
all private companies. So like a private company, and then they invest into like their kind of like IT department or something, and kind of just tell their IT department, hey, do AI, right?
No. Some, or actually many companies here in the industry do it like that. They have one or two interested people, or people that are interested in AI, and they start to play with AI. And actually, for us, that's very valuable, because it takes them 1 or 2 years to figure out they failed. And then at that point, we talk to companies that are very well aware of the real challenges and problems of AI. Because there's very wild ideas currently going around with AI still. Many believe that it's basically enough to point a mobile phone to the camera, and within a few minutes, AI will learn what's a camera. So this is a common concept on how AI is still perceived by many people, and companies that actually failed with the initial adoption of AI, they are very well aware what are the real challenges, and the talks are a lot more professional.
There's generic, not generic AI, but AI is not really like, because in the last podcast, I think right, Robin, Trent was talking about like people kind of just group. Well, Trent wrote the article for like the NFTs, to where NFTs isn't really like, there's more than one definition to NFT. There's like, because NFT is not just art. NFT is also a non-fungible token, which is like, basically like a token. So it's not really like, people kind of just group it into art. So what he was saying was, there's also a thing about AI where most people think it's just it's gonna be a robot, like a physical like robot or something that like walks. It's my AI is my little like vacuum robot thing, or but I think we already have AI, right? Through like algorithms with Twitter, like that's already like AI. That's already,
In your phone, you have a lot of AI. I mean, it
phone
makes
too.
images. It makes your camera the images you take much sharper and how you want them. But I think Trent used the term field. So
Yeah,
NFT is
field. Yes.
It's not just one thing, but it's like it makes a field. What belongs in there? It can be wishy-washy. It can be big. It can be large. It can be not straightforward. But the same is also true with AI. So yeah, large variants, what people understand by AI, and yeah, difficult to combat, or it gives opportunities and also has disadvantages.
I think AI, a general description is that it's a self-learning algorithms, and you can train experts with AI. So you can train.
What do you mean by experts?
You can train it on very narrow tasks. So you can train AI to detect traffic signs, cars, and pedestrians. But this AI doesn't know anything about the rest of the world and the concepts of human interaction and stuff like that. So can be very good in a very small, narrow field or part.
Oh, okay. So you're saying, so experts, so these AIs are just basically, I guess basically the analogy of just like it's the traffic guy. So traffic guy just does traffic. Like he does like the stoplight, and he does the crosswalk, but that's literally like his life. And that's all he knows. So he just goes home, and he goes and does crosswalk or like traffic. So, and then that's it.
And but he doesn't know what a banana is.
Yeah. He doesn't know what love is. Yeah. Or things like that. So he only knows the world of crosswalk.
Yeah, and the point here is also very important to understand that the knowledge actually from AI comes out of the data we provide to the AI for learning, actually. And this has an implication because things that happen very rarely, so very rare events, are not represented in the data, and therefore the AI doesn't learn it. So the AI is always a generalist that knows very well how to handle 99% of the problems. But then there's always this 1% where the human knowledge and experience is far superior than the AI.
And what do
Yeah.
you mean by these like rare events? Is it just like an event that
For example, one problem Tesla has is to recognize a car when it's flipped over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
a crash car. Yeah.
mhm,
It's flapped. It's
mhm,
flipped. It's the wheels are up,
mhm,
and the AI hasn't seen that and doesn't say, okay, that's not a car.
mhm.
Yeah.
So it just but so if that happens on the so like say in a scenario like you're driving your Tesla and you put it on self-drive and then out of nowhere there's a flip car, your Tesla is still gonna keep driving. It's just not gonna recognize it. So it's just gonna your Tesla will just crash into that car since it doesn't recognize it,
Uh,
or
uh,
does it just kind of see it for what it is, or just not even, you know?
um, 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 I don't know whether that's now the case for the Tesla or not, but it's
Mm,
because these are extremely rare events, and
mm,
this I mean you can't train an AI with flip cars.
yeah.
It would be an expensive thing to do, and
Mm,
therefore this is an inherent risk of AI, and also but also shows where humans and AI can collaborate. Actually, it's like in our proposal, in the Swipe AI proposal, where AI does the 99% rough work,
mhm,
and humans help with their expertise on corner cases. Yeah.
hmm. So, well, when you guys said swipe AI, I was like, okay, you swipe right or swipe left. In my head, I was like, oh, is this Tinder for AI?
It
You
was the
know?
working title, but we changed it due to probable conflicts with the copyright laws, you know. So
Mm, yeah.
working title was
Tinder AI.
but
But
yeah, I mean now it's Swipe
so,
AI.
mm, which is a pretty better name. So, I guess what does so when this does so what are you guys starting with? It's just gonna be just like images, or like I don't get the concept of like connotations or like you
So
know.
at first we're going to start with Evotegra's very complex street data set, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we are producing, or let me a little bit dive deeper. The as complexity is, or as data sets are getting more complex, the performance of human labeling this data is getting worse. Because
Mm,
we as humans, we cannot really deal very well with complexity.
mm,
And if I can give you a data set and you have to distinguish 5 classes: car, truck, human, bicyclist, motorcycle. And this goes still very well. But if I give you a list of 300, 400, 500 different items you have to distinguish, the performance of human labeling will dramatically go down the drain. And actually, this is where then we are now kicking in AI, actually to help us to label very complex data sets, highly automated, and then these corner cases I described before. Because we can measure the certainty of AI, and we can measure if AI starts to ask itself, so what am I seeing? I'm not really sure. And this is then something we give to the human.
mm,
And then the human can actually confirm the assumption or reject the assumption of the AI. And this will dramatically increase the productivity of the whole process.
mm. So I'm trying to picture this like in my head. So like what pops up on my phone. So like the what's behind, I guess like what's in the background, the AI is like looking at the data set, right? And then it doesn't find out, like it has this question like, oh wait, I don't know what I'm seeing. So now it it pops up like the problem on the phone to the user. Is the problem like a picture, or is the problem kind of like, am I looking at like words, like am I looking at like a sentence to where I say yes or no, or what what am I looking at, you know?
The initial thing will be images,
Mm,
and we will display actually what the AI is seeing along with the example image of what AI believe this object is.
mm,
So
Yeah?
the AI is forming a theory. It says, I think this is this, you know, like let's say I think this is a car.
mm,
And then you see in the image, okay, what does it think is the car? And then it could be then like, let's say it's a post box, which is it detected as a car. Then you have the bounding box around the post box, and you say, okay, no, that's not correct. AI, you have it wrong here. Or it could be around the car, and you say, okay, AI, you swipe right, you have it right. I have the same opinion as you, and so you're basically validating the AI constantly.
How are you seeing what the AI is seeing? Like, how do you translate that into?
In the detection algorithm, basically you feed it an image,
Mm,
and then it makes assumptions, you know, where it finds objects in it.
mm,
Those are then marked with bounding boxes. So you can also, of course, you could also have non-bounding boxes, but for the simplicity, bounding boxes. And then for each detection it made, it also has an opinion what kind of object this is. Basically, we are then single casing out all of these individual cases. You know, we don't want to show the whole image. You know, should not be too complex for the human. Very straightforward, one thing. That's the goal, to show only one detection, not all of them in the same image, because it can be too much. You know, there can be 200 or 300 objects. You know, if you're in a dense area in a city, you can have many objects, but you want to have only one of them, and you only validate this one thing, and then you can go to the next one. The best one, of course, the best case would of course be that there's like many cases where it's about cars, and then it's about the same thing, but only the image itself changes. You know, like the actual object in the real image, it changes. And you only have to say yes or no. But what you are like looking for, or what you are making your mind about, it's always the same.
So, are you guys gonna have more? Is it all data sets, or is it certain niche data sets?
For now, it's one data set. So we want to find out with one data set whether it works or not.
Oh, but I'm just saying, I guess like the class of like, what is the data set about? Like, is it about like cars, or I don't know.
Traffic, yeah.
Oh, it's just gonna be all traffic data sets.
Yeah,
it's listed on the marketplace, right? I mean, Evotegra you have the data set there, so you can also look at the sample data and so on. So it's already listed on the marketplace. You can also buy it there, but
yeah.
Wait, so you guys do just traffic?
No, we're actually doing custom solutions, but we are from the traffic domain aspect. So this is basically one of our prime examples how to collect and label data. But also we did other things. For example, we did the AI premiere of AI in German live television.
Okay, so hold on. I'll be right back. I have to like move my car, but if you want to take over real quick.
Maybe we are already on for 1 hour and 24 minutes. I think maybe it would also be okay to conclude the stream now.
Yeah.
From my point of view, I mean, 1.5 hours is already enough. So.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I kind of still, I still have a lot of questions, I guess. But if you guys want to conclude this, then yeah, we can go ahead and.
We can invite Tobias another time. You know.
Yeah. Really.
Definitely.
You know, then we can see what really came out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, so this, I guess this will get hard cut on the stream, but the OceanDAO round 4 was a very exciting time. 101 votes. But I really do have to go, I guess. But yeah,
Sure,
so
no problem.
we'll
I mean,
conclude this.
we will post this on YouTube again, as always. And if you have comments, anything, if you like the format that we comment on the round, please let us also know. Thank you so much for being with us, Tobias.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
guys
thanks.
for the invitation. Yeah, it was very nice. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it was a very fun stream. And so all the sailors out there, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Watching this on YouTube, help us get our channel out and spread the word of Ocean. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Later.